like this, I'm going to start messing with his arm. I feel that he tucks that arm in. He doesn't want that arm to be compromised. Remember what I was talking about, keeping your elbows in? He knows that. He's got good solid fundamentals. All right, because he trains at Miller Martial Arts. When you watch somebody go to lift weights, you know, they're not turning their head to go do a bench press. You know, they're not cranking their body in different positions. We want to crank other people's bodies in different positions, right? But when you think about grappling in general, you don't want two shoulders on the mat flat. All right. I know we don't get penalized for it from a point standpoint or from a losing the match automatically in jiu-jitsu, but when you think about it, when both shoulders are on the mat flat, you're probably about to get your guard pass. You're probably about to get smashed, all right? Because anytime we're offensive, when you think about a shrimp, when you think about anytime we're creating space or attacking, we're actually coming up off of our shoulders, all right? And so the half guard is a good example of this. All right. In fact, my jiu-jitsu coach, when he wrestled back when Illinois State had a wrestling team, and he was actually talking about, I think he started, his last season of wrestling was 95, going into the 1995 year. I think that summer he started jiu-jitsu in 95. And that was when he was first introduced to the half guard position. Now, he'd been wrestling for all those years previous to that. And while he was actually wrestling in college, one of his teammates would be in like a single, like have somebody shoot in on a single leg on him, and he was so kind of wiry and had that funky style that he would actually end up in this weird scissor position, this leg scissor position they called it, and then he would come up with a single leg of his own. And then, you know, my coach sees this as his wrestling teammates, like, oh, that guy's doing that crazy thing again, and it's, you know, oh, look, he's reversed the position, that's cool. And then he gets introduced to jiu-jitsu and he realizes that it's a whole position for us. It's a whole, you know, there's a whole concept. There's people that base all their offense around it. All right? And it's cool because you can be a smaller person, and that bigger, stronger, more athletic person can be in the top position, and you can still have offense by creating your angles. Or you could be a top player and use the half guard to come up with your own single leg. All right, so you're basically, you know, wrapping your body around the leg from the bottom position and then creating angles to turn, to come up into a more dominant top position, go for those knee picks, go for those different things that are gonna reverse the position for you. So from a wrestling top position standpoint, half guard, deep half guard is a great option. From a smaller, more active guard player who may be forced on the bottom, half guard, deep half is going to be one of those situations where you keep your spine straight. Sorry. Another thing is here. Look, we do the same stuff that we did last week, where I lifted the leg, got him posted, and then come in to my leg lock or what? Thanks, guard. All right. How many of y'all were in class last week? Got to come to class every week because these lessons tie into each other. Okay. All right. So everything that we did last week, no gi. Well, I think I did that no gi, but you know, we're just tying it all in. So now you have 4 or 5 different things. You got 4 or 5 different moves. You got a system. You got a system. You have a process. Okay. You have a process. You have to trust the process. That's how you make champions. Yeah. All right. I just made that up off the fly.
It's all right. You'll see it. You'll see it on one of my posts next week. Better trademark your fast.
Let's hit our planks, guys. Hit our planks.
Yeah, baby. Hey, I won my $50 last year. I would have won the middle.
I need one more question. It's a gift card, not cash.
I'm Shawn Michaels level seller. Okay. If you're testing for a belt, you want me to help. Okay. So my services are available. Every belt test I've been to, they got their belt. That's all I'm saying.
Down, he spins. As soon as he's done, I'm coming down. All right, we'll do that for a session. All right. You
I feel like Tony Hawk. I saw the points. He did a 720 right there. I was counting.
Do that like a 10 count, okay? All right. So understanding that you can use your knee and just posture or just posting out. All right. What are you doing there? You are, you're setting other things up, whether it be like a Kimura setup or whatever. We have to understand that there is no free lunch, okay? I got a phone call from the school system that said, hey, stop putting money in the kids' accounts this year because the coronavirus, they ordered so much food for the year, and everybody's got free lunch this year. That's if your kids are going to school. I don't know if y'all realize that, we have kids now. All right, I thought that's pretty cool, but then that phrase, there is no free lunch, popped in my head, and I'm like, hey, hold on now. All right, somebody's paying for these lunches, right? Okay, it's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. All right. Every time you do something, you're going to open up a thing. And you always have that student, yeah, but what if they do this? Well, yeah, I know. All right.
All right, damn it. Who's a Democrat?
Just say it.
All right. So, getting that out of the way is what? All right. But, all right. I can go into a whole thing about it. It ain't got nothing to do with politics, but
I enjoyed the real estate talk last time.
hey, things like that, yeah. I left out some options, but so we all know protecting this arm when he enters into deep half is another thing that they need to do. All right, we get that. We talked about that now for a couple weeks. Me messing with this arm immediately will get the reaction of having it tucked. Okay, and this is an old move here. I know a lot of y'all, you might have already seen this, but when I'm here like this and I'm messing with it, or I'm messing with the arm, Caleb's like, no, I'm gonna tuck that. Yeah, I want it tucked anyways, okay? And then what does that do? It opens up me to fall into my knee bar, okay? But it's not just my knee bar position. When if he turns towards me like this, he's got a knee bar. When he turns away from me, I'm already in position to start moving into inverted heel hook.
On the bottom limb, it's still the bottom limb. It's just the leg.
Me and Micah were teaching Link how to sell today.
Okay.
Let me get in here. What we got selling? What were you trying to get him to sell?
Just like he was doing, like, Link was beating Micah with a Kirby, like a stuffed Kirby, and Micah's going, it's like,
And then we told him that's what selling is, and he was like, "What's selling?"
and then it was like, I told Mike, I said, do a no sell. And then Michael was just like, straight, like, just taking Kirby, like, hit him in the face. That's a no sell sign. Don't be a no seller. Unless you're 6'6" and 315 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, come back up. 2 against a better, kind of more worthy opponent. What's going to happen is, as I get here and here, I need to be walking my hips out because he's going to be on his side and he's coming back to his knee. And now I can get here, and maybe now I can fall in and get that guillotine. So it becomes a little bit more of a wrestling position, doesn't it? Yeah. You're in the shitter right there for sure. So I'm just doing it solo. So as I bring my body around like that, and I'm locking this up, I'm focusing on just holding what I got, and my elbow goes toward my hip, and that makes my other arm go up. If I need some extra juice, I'm like leg curling in like this, and I'm turning on more on my side. If you feel that stretching helps, then stretch. I just feel in this specific scenario like that I showed you guys, it does not, okay? And then as he's starting to stack you up, undo the butterfly hook and steer him over. If you can come up to mount, come up to mount. Otherwise, you're going to be using the head to kind of like do this kind of move. And you might have to ditch it and move to like the front headlock or spin behind the back. But if you feel like you can kind of come back to just like this over-under type of position, then you can just drop back
in a roll.
Okay, I'm just going to help you out. Like, the length of your arms is giving you like a false sense of security. So a classic tall guy problem in striking is they don't obey the rules of striking, because like instead of being like this or like this or like this or this or this, they'll be like this. Okay? And why is that? It's because nobody's actually punishing them for their mistakes. The coach will be like, no, you got to do it like this. But unfortunately, we don't always like listen. We just do what feels natural, and until somebody can show us otherwise, we'll just maintain that, right? So for years, it's like you're like 6'5" and 165 pounds. Nobody's gonna make you pay, you know, until you meet that person who's gonna make you pay, and they're gonna expose your years of mistakes. And it's like this with jiu-jitsu too, because the length of your arm is so long. When you sit up like this just to start, you're feeling like you're in a good Kimura position, you know, just because you're super long. But anytime like you've trapped the arm, you need to be going like if you can get the Kimura, that's fine, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about like the guy like elbowing in or straightening the arms. You've got to be able to follow that up like that. You've got to be just going like this. Okay, that's one. All right, that's like kind of like step one. If the Kimura is not there. Okay, if the Kimura is there, like you created that bite and his elbow is out, you know, at that point he turns the elbow in. And from there, all it is this. It shouldn't be like super hard, you know what I mean? And then that would be like 2. But then this is not 3 and 4. This is 3. Okay. So you just got to be able to get your hand a lot better. And we know that like the further the hand is behind us, the less leverage we have, right? So when I'm sitting up like this, if I wanted to do a hip bump, if it was out here, this is really weak. See that? So like, see how far my hips come up? It's more like my hip is going this way. But when I'm here, it's like I can project this way, this way, this way. Like my hips have so much more leverage to be able to move, you know, the adversary. Okay. Does that answer your question? Not at all. It's okay to say I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Sometimes. You want that weapon, you should want a different weapon. You want the tool to do the job, right? Come on, there's got to be a saying about that. Right tool for the black kettle or something like that. You know, that's it, something close to that. Hope I didn't butcher that one too bad. The right tool for the job is worth 2 pennies in a black kettle.
That's it.
All you have is a hammer, then everything is a nail.
I think it was Sun Tzu that said, no battle plan survives contact.
That was okay. That's fucking good. All right, Pete, go ahead and say it.
No battle plan survives contact with the enemy.
That's fucking great. Pete said that.